Good day, I'm Matthew Cullis here from Word of Faith Christian Center. Now, my question to you today is, are you an undercover Christian? I'm going to read from John chapter 3, and it talks about a specific undercover Christian. In fact, he was a priest, a religious Jewish priest. It says there was a man named Nicodemus, a Jewish religious leader who was a Pharisee. After dark one evening, he came to speak with Jesus, and he said, "Rabbi," he said, "we all know that God has sent you to teach us. Your miraculous signs of evidence that God is with you." And Jesus answers with this, "I tell you the truth, unless you're born again, you cannot see the kingdom of heaven." Nicodemus was a Jewish religious leader, a Pharisee, and at that time, especially Pharisees, Jesus had a very not soft spot for. He especially was up against them all the time. The reason why was because people who were sick were getting healed. People who were poor were suddenly flourishing. People were getting blessed. And instead of the Pharisees being blessed for them and celebrating that this was happening and God was moving, they were questioning it the whole time. Now, Nicodemus in chapter 3 came and questioned Jesus. He had questions about what Jesus was doing. And he did it undercover late at night when no one would see. He was different to the rest. He believed in what Jesus was doing, but he was undercover about it. He didn't want to expose himself. He didn't want to show the others that, hey, I'm with Jesus here. I'm kind of actually liking what he's doing. I'm actually with him, guys. He went undercover so that no one would see, so his reputation was saved. But later on, in John chapter 9, we see this man Nicodemus jump out of nowhere. And while the religious leaders are debating about how they're going to kill Jesus, Nicodemus is the one that jumps out and says, "No, this man has done no wrong." And then later on, we see him yet again in John chapter 19, how he is the one saying, "Let's give this man, Jesus, the Son of God, a really good burial." You see, in the beginning, he was an undercover Christian. He then went out to bat for Jesus. In the end, he was fully in love with Jesus, and he had a full-on relationship with God, and I believe he ended up being a religious leader that was saved. Here's how you grow in God. You come out of your hiding. You know, the best way to grow in your relationship with God is to come out from undercover. Are you finding that often you're a bit undercover, a little bit quiet? You maybe don't want to be associated with a certain group, or you don't want to be associated with church. Well, I will encourage you something. The more you come out, the more you bat for the kingdom of God, and the more you expose your relationship with God, number one, you grow in your relationship with God, and number two, you grow those around you. You'll be surprised by how many people are waiting for you to shout from the rooftops and say, "I love Jesus, I know God, here's my testimony." And watch what will happen. You'll invite the presence of God. You'll become a gateway of God's blessing on people around you, just like Nicodemus did. So let's come out from being undercover, and let's expose and open up the kingdom of heaven to others.